Today I want to talk about something I love. Not my wife, I do love my wife. The other thing that I love, dogs. Anytime I see a dog walking down the street, on TV, in a poster, any sort of scenario like that, the very next thing that I think, the very next thing is, I have to pet this dog. I really need to pet this dog right now. Apparently, I'm a huge fan of dogs. And I didn't realize how much of a dog fan I actually was until I talked to my wife about it. Now, don't get me wrong. I like cats. Cats are great. Cats are fine. Cats like me. I like to pet cats. But there's just something about a dog. When my wife and I went on our honeymoon to Peru, there were dogs everywhere, and I was just like, I really need to pet these dogs. So even though we're in the process of adding new animals to our farm, really, my first love is our dogs. Now we have two. There's Petie and there's Widget. But we don't call her Widget though, we call her the Woog. And I had her before my wife and I met, been through a lot of adventures together. She's a particular kind of lady. She's very interesting. She was basically a basket case from the very beginning. One thing that I really wish that she would do that she doesn't do that I discovered early on is I wanted her to like catch a Frisbee, right? You go to the park, you throw a dog for a Frisbee, he runs after it, he jumps up, catches it in midair. It's very impressive to everyone. Everyone's like, oh my gosh, how did you get your dog to do that? But she doesn't like that. She wants to chase little things on the ground. What she likes the most is to take one of those ball throwers, not for me to throw it in the air. She's not interested to go after the thrown ball. What she really likes for me to do is like skip it along the ground, like I'm skipping a rock on a pond. And I guess it's like a rat. I guess she really enjoys like chasing small little creatures, which is pretty ironic considering if you've seen my other video, because when it comes to catching any sort of little rodent running around the house, both of these dogs are utterly useless. What's strange though is even though she doesn't want to jump to catch a Frisbee, she loves chasing bubbles. And another thing that's sort of deceiving about her, when she plays really rough. Even the day that I got her, I brought her home and we were playing tug of war in the backyard and it sounded like this. Whoa, whoa, and then I realized like, oh, that's just her singing voice. She really loves the snow, and she's just crazy. She's just a crazy person since the very first day that I got her. Here's a picture of her graduating obedience school, sort of. If there's ever an opportunity for her to get completely filthy in one way or another, she's all about it. This is probably my favorite picture of her, but it just really shows her personality, I mean, to a T. Waiting for any second just to cause trouble. So that's the Woog. And then, bless his heart, there's Petie. Petie is a whole different ball of wax. He doesn't really do too much during the day. This is what most of his days are comprised of. And he is perfectly content with that. All he wants to do is eat, drink some water, and go to bed. He sometimes will come home and we'll see this. Now, I don't know how he decided this was going to be a great idea, especially compared to there being a completely empty couch next to him, but that's just him. He does a lot of weird stuff like that. He's kind of a weirdo. I knew from the moment I saw him, this guy the elevator just doesn't go all the way up. It was clear to me because I had already had two dogs at this point of my own, but to Monica, when she first got him, he was super overweight and he didn't really do a lot. She would take him out into the little grassy area that they had there at the shelter, and he would sniff around a little bit, and then he would just come and sit down next to her, and she thought it was like, oh, he's just tired because he's fat. She just thought that he wasn't very active, didn't have a lot going on, because he was just overweight. But I knew immediately when I saw this guy, like, that's just how he is. But what's interesting about him, even though there are many instances of him just being, occasionally there are times when you look at him and it seems like it's all an act, the whole thing. For instance, before we got married, Monica and I moved to a new apartment in Dallas, and they had a dog park. They have these sort of terraced walls, these rock walls. This apartment complex has like many levels, right? So you would walk at a certain level, and then there's some stairs to go down, and then there's a brick wall or whatever, you know, it's basically broken up into different heights. And where their dog park was the bottom level in this valley, basically. So there's like 3 or 4 levels that you could go up past that to get to where the street was. Very first day that we get there, I think, oh, it'll be so nice. I'll take Petie to the park, let him off a leash, he can run around. There's probably no other dogs in there. The very first, I'm not exaggerating, the very first thing that I did when I took him off a leash, he ran to the corner where it was the lowest point in that stone wall, looked around like this for a second, and then made a bounding leap out of this dog park back into the apartment complex. And of course I was like, ah! I jump over this wall, I chase after him, we're going past each other like this, he's running past me, I can't grab him, I like lay out to catch the baseball as he's like going by, but I can't grab him. That happens a couple of times. Eventually I slide through some dog poop, which is like all down my side now. And eventually I get into a corner, I'm above him. He's stuck in like a little chute basically between an apartment building on one side and a brick wall on this side. And I'm standing here on top of this brick wall. He runs in there where he's trapped, and then eventually I ninja down on top of him and grab him. And I'm pretty sure that's the last time he's been in a public place without a really high fence with no leash on in like 2 years or something like that. You just can't trust him. But it shouldn't be a surprise though, because on his sheet at the shelter, it said there's 2 things that he likes. 1, he likes to eat hot dogs, and 2, he likes to run away. And he has lived up to both of those bullet points. But the good news is they get along with each other really well. They're friends. So occasionally they like get into like a little spat, but like almost never. When one of them leaves to go to the groomer or to go to the vet or something like that, almost always the other one is like looking out the window or crying or just like waiting in the entryway for the other one to come back. So that's pretty cute. So even though we're in the process of getting more animals, these are really our first animals, even though they're not farm animals, but they're, you know, they're like right in here. So yeah, I guess that's it. Oh, one other thing. I'm seriously considering the idea of getting like a duck or a chicken or like a rabbit maybe for Monica for Easter. And so what I want to do is go get this animal and film the whole thing and then surprise her with it. I don't really know which of those would be best. If anybody has any suggestions, leave it for me here. Don't comment on Facebook though, because she might find it there. But if it's on YouTube here, she'll never see it. If you like that idea and you want to see that, then leave me a comment. So yeah, those are our dogs. That's what we deal with on a daily basis. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video.